Some of these comments. Y'all are crazy. Well, that was fun. So my A7IV video about how the A7IV is going to be better than the Alpha 1 went over like a fart in church. Well, no, that's not true. I actually got a lot of really good engagement out of that video, but I was just as liable to have good engagement as I was guys just smashing the keyboard, you know, after hearing only my first couple sentences on the video. So now we know what the A7IV is and we know all the specs. Do I still believe that I'm right? Is it better than the A1? Well, first off, that's not exactly what my last video said. Okay, so I just got to get that out there. And the ones that I've had the useful, meaningful engagement with, they get it. You know, as a matter of fact, one guy just today said, hey, I see what you did there. So yeah, well, you know, not everybody did. So I never thought the A7IV was going to be globally better than the A1. And I said as much. You know, if you go and watch that video, I said that. What I did say, and what has turned out to be true, is that there are features of the A7IV that, depending on what it is you would like to do, are better than the A1. And some of those, let's see. Okay, so there are some things about the A7IV that are the same as the A1. Okay, the Bion's processor is the same as the A1. It has S-Cinetone. It has a very similar, if not a little bit better, dynamic range. And it has, this is better than the A7 III. It's got a 3200 gain stage for the second gain stage of it. So that's better than the A7 III because 12,800 is way up there and it's just not really that usable. 3200 is right in the wheelhouse of where you would want that to clean up. ISO 3200, the A7S III looks like trash. You know, you have to go up to that 12,800 and now figure out your exposure. It does have some things that are superior to the A1. The oversampled 4K is oversampled from a higher resolution. So Gerald Undone actually has a great video on the A7IV. He reviewed it. One of the things that he said that really stood out to me is this is right. The A7IV right now is the highest resolution oversampled 4K that you can get from Sony across all bodies, including the A1. A7IV is better in that regard. Has a flippy screen. That's not really important to me, but a lot of people like that. Animal Eye AF in video, again, not important to me, but it's better than the A7 III in that regard. That is something, hopefully, that will come in a firmware update. Focus breathing compensation. This is a cool one. So probably one of the only bad things about the newer Sony G Master lenses is they breathe so much. You know, so focus breathing, for those who don't know, is when you go to switch focal plane from something close to something far, it looks like your whole focal length is changing. You know, it kind of pumps a little bit. And so the A7IV with native lenses has that mapped out and it compensates for it. That's cool. They also have a pretty neat focus mapping tool. And I don't know if the best one of these that I've seen is on RED cameras. So the DSM-C2, I think the Komodo has it. I know that my DSM-C2 Dragon has it, where other than just peaking, and so the outlines of what's in focus are going to be peaked in whatever color you choose, on the RED system, it's going to be peaking in white, but nothing else will show. So it's going to be just a black background with whatever is in focus in white, and that is super, super handy. It's a really neat tool. This is kind of along those same lines, rudimentary form of it. And that is actually one of the most intriguing things to me. So, have I walked back at all? My opinion that the A7IV is going to be better than the A1. No. You know, because if you take in context what I was saying, that is exactly what has come to fruition. Now, was I hoping for a little bit more than what was delivered? Yes, I was. And, you know, my biggest gripe about it is everybody's biggest gripe about it, the crop in the 4K 60. You know, I think that's, I've seen some people try to defend it. You know, they need to separate it so much from the A7S III and, you know, the A1 and such. But, you know, we know that that processor can do 4K 60 full frame because it is the processor in the A1 and the A7S III that can do 4K 60 full frame. We know the CF Express Type A architecture can do more than that. I mean, these are really fast cards, you know, in those two bodies. And I think where the discrepancy might lie in the A7 IV is the same thing that's going on with the rolling shutter artifacting that seems to be pretty prevalent on it. The sensor just does not have that fast of a read speed on it, and so it is probably physically unable to get to that 4K 60. Now, the rumors before it came out, everybody thought it was going to be a stacked sensor. So a stacked sensor has a memory layer on the back. It reads super fast. It's what the A1 has. It's what the A9 bodies have. You know, and 4K 60 at 33 megapixel will be no problem. I mean, you could do 4K 120 with a stacked 33 megapixel sensor and the rest of that architecture on board. So that's my only real, you know, disappointment with the A7 IV. I think it is a fantastic camera. I think it is a absolute no-brainer upgrade for everything except the A1. And those things that I was just reading off here from this, there are plenty of things that the, oh, I forgot one of my favorite ones. One of my favorite ones too is the focusing dial that can now be, or not the focusing dial, the exposure compensation dial that can now be reprogrammed to do different things. So that's better than the A1 too. A1 doesn't have that. So you know, I mean, I can see how my last video could have rubbed people the wrong way, but you know, it's the journey that counts. And if you are a subscriber or you have seen many of my videos, you know that I don't often say things very directly. I kind of take you on the journey. That's just who I am. So, you know, I do this for fun. I like engaging. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you think of the A7 IV now that it's out. Will I be getting one? I don't know. I might get one. So for me, what I roll with, okay, so my commercial photography and video setup on a day-to-day basis, shooting interiors, I go back and forth between using the A7S III and the Red Komodo for shooting interior video. I shoot the A1 as my stills body. So in my van at all times, I like to have backups of everything. So I have, when I'm shooting video on Sony also, I have the Alpha 1, the A7S III, and the A7R4. So if the Alpha 1 goes down, I have another high resolution camera in the A7R4. The A7S III goes down, I have another good video camera in the Alpha 1, and vice versa. So that's 3 bodies, really, to cover photo and video as redundant. It would be better if I could have, I mean, obviously 2 Alpha 1s would be awesome, right? But, but the A7 IV, if it weren't for that crop in 60 frames, because I really need to shoot wide. You know, I shoot real estate, you know. If it weren't for that crop in 60 frames at 4K, it would be the one camera that could be the only camera that I would need as a backup. You know, I can shoot video on the A7 IV and shoot stills on the A1, and they will be each other's backups for those disciplines. So, you know, it was almost perfect. So I've got a few videos kicking around in my head coming up in the next week or two. I'm going to do a comparison on the A7S III versus the Red Komodo for real estate video. My last series that I did, there were 2 or 3 videos in it comparing all kinds of cameras against each other for real estate videos. The A7S III came out on top versus the Red Dragon X, the Blackmagic Pocket 6K, and I don't even remember what I had, but the A7S III came out on top of those cameras. And so since then, that was many months ago, I have purchased a Red Komodo and I have been using it a lot for real estate video. I just recently stopped using the Red Komodo for real estate video and picked up again the A7S III to use it for real estate video because it had been a while since I'd used it. I wanted to make this kind of comparison for you and look at the A7S III again kind of with fresh eyes, you know, after I've been using the Red Komodo for a while. So I'm going to have that coming up. I am going to have a future of real estate media video coming up, and there's a couple others that I'm going to make too. So if you have a suggestion, absolutely leave it in the comments, and lighten up. They're just cameras. I'll see you. Peace.